and welcome to this presentation on how to format your paper for APA style in Microsoft Word. We will begin with the margins. All margins in APA style should be set at a minimum of 1 inch. This means 1 inch from the top, the bottom, and both sides. Microsoft Word allows you to set the margins to a default of 1 inch. In Microsoft Word, select the Page Layout tab, select Margins, and look at the options that are available. If you have an option that allows for 1 inch margins all around, simply click on this option and your paper is now formatted to 1 inch margins all around. If you don't have this option, another way you can do that is to click on Custom Margins and then go in and manually set all your margins to 1 inch. If you write many papers in APA style, you have the option to set the 1 inch margins as your default. Once you click on this option, then click OK, and your margins are now set to 1 inch. All documents following APA guidelines are required to be aligned left and double spaced throughout the entire document. Further, there should be no additional spacing between paragraphs or after headings. To properly format your paper, click on the little triangle in the lower right corner of the paragraph box. Click the Indents and Spacing tab. You will note that in Microsoft Word the default spacing after paragraphs is 10 points. You will want to reset this to 0. You'll notice that your line spacing will default to single spacing. Click on the drop-down arrow and select double. Finally, in APA style, the first line in all paragraphs is indented 1/2 inch. So under Special, click the drop-down arrow, select first line, and it should default to 1/2 inch. If not, you can adjust it so that it is 1/2 inch. Again, if you write many papers in APA style, you can set this as a default and then click OK. There is another way to set up the hanging indent on your paragraph. In the View tab, ensure that your ruler is visible by clicking the Ruler tab. This will make the ruler above the paper visible. If you will look at these two triangles, you'll note that the top one is already offset 1/2 inch. This lets you know that you have your hanging indent set up for your paragraph. In the event that that triangle was flush left, you merely need to grab it with your cursor, move it over 1/2 inch, and you have now set up your hanging indent. Similarly, when you format your references page, remember that in APA style, the second and subsequent lines of your sources that are listed on the references page must be indented 1/2 inch. To do that, move the top triangle back to the left so that it's flush left, then grab the bottom triangle and move it over 1/2 inch. This will indent the second and subsequent lines in your sources by 1/2 inch. You will also note that you have the spacing visible in your toolbar. If it is set to 10 points after, you can reset it to 0 here. The last thing we're going to look at in formatting your paper is the font type and size. The preferred font type for APA style is Times New Roman. Additionally, APA style requires that the font size be set at 12 points. Click the Home tab and your font style and size will become visible. There are two ways you can reset it. One is to click on the drop-down arrow, select Times New Roman. For the size, click on the arrow next to it and select 12 points. And you have now formatted the font style and size. A second way to do it is to click on the right arrow in the font box and then reset your font style and size at this point. Again, if you write many papers in APA style, you can set this font style and size as your default and then click OK. Your paper is now formatted for APA style and you may begin writing the paper.